camera sucks. Okay, now we're on to the heads. The heads end here, and the rest is the jug. The heads are going to be real easy to take off. The plugs are already out, the wires are already disconnected, the rocker boxes are off. There are 4 bolts to take off, and you have to loosen them in a crisscross pattern, just like the rocker boxes. You don't want to take one off at one time, then another off. You need to do them in order, half turn at a time or so. Let me show you the bolts that will be taken off. Again, this is an old bike, so they're a little corroded. So it's basically going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the way through. Same on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I did soak everything in PB Blaster overnight, just in case. Again, old bike. 4 bolts are out on each side. Now it says just to whack this with a hammer. Well, gently tap with a rubber mallet. Roughly translated to whack with a hammer until it comes off. And boy, the whole jug's coming off. There we go. There's the rear head. Some oil dripping on the floor. Nice. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I need a new head gasket. This thing is fucked. It's time for the front. There you go. There you go. Front cylinder head off. The jugs just kind of slide up. The only thing holding them on was the 4 bolts for the heads. They're actually not 4 bolts, they're 4, I don't know what the proper term is, but like a sleeve bolt. Like there are studs that go from the case through the jug into the head, and these have an internal female thread that threads into them. So these aren't even held in anymore, they're just sitting there. Go. The front jug. Let's take care of this back jug. Perfect. Alright, and this is important when you get to this step. You need to shove shop towels, rags, anything you can down in these, I guess, cavities, because if you drop something down in there, you're gonna have to take your fucking engine out to get it to drop the oil pan. Word of warning. Okay, as you can see, jugs are off, everything's off, pistons are exposed. The only thing to do now is to actually remove the pistons. And for that, you should only need one tool. Where the fuck's it at? It's my handy dandy 90-degree pick. I'll show you what you gotta do here. So in here, in the piston, there's this little groove cut out right there. Basically, you want to take this pick, get in here, and try to pry this ring out of there. It's gonna be a little hard to do with one hand, so let me set this thing up and show you what I'm talking about. And just like that, that's the retaining pin. That was the retaining pin. And all you're going to do from here is support the piston, push the retaining pin out. Fucking maybe. This is the other retaining ring. Now these are under tension, so it helps if you sort of put your thumb, the thumb you're not using the pick with, in there and pop it off, and it'll kind of rest right there on your thumb. Especially because you don't want to get this shit down in your crankcase. This may not be the right answer, but the pistons and connecting rods, or the pistons and the retaining pins are all getting replaced. So I'm not too concerned about damaging these. And that's the piston off. Oh yeah, that fucker's tight. Yeah, and the connecting rod sleeve, perfect. No marring from doing that at all. And this is what I was talking about with using your thumb. I mean, I got pretty fat thumbs, but put your thumb in here holding the pin in, and take your pick underneath the ring, pry it up, and the ring will pop out. There we go. And see, I caught it right there with my thumb. And that way you don't have to worry about losing this ring down in your crankcase. So, just a little trick. The front piston, and this one is even worse. I mean, this carbon on here is just caked on. You can see right here, I've scratched some of it off with a screwdriver, just a flathead. Yeah, these things are just caked in soot. I'll have to do some research and find out what causes that to make sure it doesn't happen with the new pistons. But yeah, I'm sure that's not good. Alright, so everything that I needed to do with the actual engine is done for now. I have to take the heads and the jugs to the machine shop to get bored. And the heads are getting compression and release valves put in, because these pistons are higher compression, 10.5 to 1. So just to save my starter some strain, I am putting those in. And that's really all I'm waiting on for this point. But I am going to get into the crank, or the cam chest, and start dabbling around in there for those new Reaper cams to get put in. So that'll be a good time. Okay, so that's going to do it for the engine teardown. Like I said, it was going to be a 3-part video. There's a lot to go over. I am going to do a video on how I remove the studs from the case, because it was a tricky son of a bitch. But other than that, the engine's torn down. The next series of videos is going to be the cam chest, tearing it down, pressing bearings, how not to press a bearing. Got that covered. So yeah, thanks again for watching. Make sure you like the video, comment what you think. If you got any tips or anything, maybe you saw that I did something unorthodox or incorrectly, let me know. Definitely a learning experience. Hope someone else learned something on this as well, because I know I sure as hell did. So, thanks again.